Hi, and welcome to the Backhouse, your hospitality venue. We are here live and direct with season 4. Welcome. Yeah, give it up, give it up. I know we got some people in the audience ready for season 4. So again, welcome to Live at the Backhouse. We are so glad you are joining us for season 4. Don't forget, Live at the Backhouse is a marketing platform. We highlight small businesses, authors, and various topics of interest. I am back as your host. My name is Vanciel English, aka Coach V in the house, and we are so excited tonight that you are joining us. So don't forget, as always, actually, we want to share the live. So share the live. If you join us, let us know you're here. Interact with us and put an emoji there and just kind of listen, right? Yeah. Listen and interact with us. But first, we would like to thank our segment sponsor, the Backhouse, your hospitality venue. Thank you. Yes, yes. So, again, share the live. I've already said that with your family and friends because this is going to be a great interview. So if anybody's going to miss it, we hope that you would share this information tonight. And without further ado, I would like to welcome Miss Carrie Farley, who is the author of Love Chances right here, who is our featured guest tonight. Welcome to the Backhouse, Carrie.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, I am excited because this, and we really want to get into the book, and I am not going to give away anything just yet. So Love Chances, I'm sure, has a lot of people kind of thinking like, what could that book be about? But first, before we get into the book, tell us a little bit about Carrie Farley and who she is.
Well, I am a resident alumni, very proud alumni of Tribal Medicine City Schools.
Go Rams!
Go Rams! And just very passionate about the city, the community from where I came from, and just wanted to give back. So I graduated from high school from Trotwood in 2000.
Okay.
From there, I went to Oakland University in Rochester, Michigan. Go Grizzlies! And graduated from there in 2004, and then continued pursuing my master's degree from Capella University in Minnesota.
What's your master's in?
It's in human services and school counseling, and then I have a concentration in mental health.
Mental health.
Yes.
Now that's something that's big. That's a big topic nowadays. So
Yes.
definitely. Okay. Well, I read in some of your information that you have a passion for helping the youth and young adults. So just kind of give us an idea of where that passion came from and going into helping the youth.
Well, it started, my mom is a retired school teacher from Dayton Public City Schools.
Okay.
She taught for over 40 years, and
thank you, Mom.
Yes.
You touched a lot of
Mom.
lives, I'm sure. Thank you.
And she, just watching her work tirelessly, effortlessly, in helping the youth, whether it was tutoring them in reading. She was a Title I reading teacher. I helped grade her papers. Sometimes when we were on break, I would come in and help her with her students, her 4th grade students in particular at Belhaven Elementary.
Okay.
And
how old were you when you were doing that?
I was in high school.
Okay.
So 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, 12th grade year, and then even in college, I would come back on break and help.
Oh, wow.
But I loved like taking the kids, giving them spelling tests, things of that nature. And then when I went to college, I would come back. Of course, those conversations were more than just me giving them a spelling test. It's going into, so what's going on? And from there, I was like, Mom, I want to be a teacher. And she's like, why do you want to be a teacher? And I told her, I said, because you take kids home after you tutor them and you try to get to learn who they are. And she's like, well, technically that's not a teacher's role. She's like, that's more of a social worker per se. And so, but I've always, since I was young, I've always wanted to help younger kids younger than myself.
Okay, okay. And that, I mean, that's a great calling to have. I think the most important question your mom asked you was why. I think a lot of people nowadays are children or maybe teenagers, you know, they said, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that. And it's like, why? Oh, because it pays well.
Right.
And a lot of jobs, even though they pay well, if you're not gifted for that particular job, you may end up dissatisfied in your career. So that's a good thing that you found that and you know, was led there in an early age.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, well, now that we're on the topic, I'm just going to skip down a few questions before we get back to the book.
Yes, ma'am.
So, in your present professional role, now I have to say, I absolutely love your job title. Now let me see if I get this right. Restorative Justice Specialist.
Yes.
Now, I heard on the radio today, Carrie, that a lady said that there is so much injustice in the world right now. And I mean, I'm sure the viewers can agree in a lot of different areas. So being in that position of restorative justice specialist, just touch on a little bit about what you do in that capacity.
Well, basically, my job title was created to help be a part of reducing that school to prison pipeline. You have, and also before that position, before coming back to Trotwood City Schools, I worked downtown for juvenile court. And so, unfortunately, you see that, you know, in juvenile court, a lot of students there had trouble reading, they have trouble, you know, with math or different subjects, or they're just bored. And so they get into trouble. And then there's, you know, response to intervention techniques that are in place. However, you know, a lot of those students, unfortunately, are the ones getting expelled, they're getting suspended, detentions. And the more, you know, studies show, the more that a student is, you know, outside of school, the less disinterested they're going to, the more disinterested they're going to be, you know, in school. And so ultimately they might either drop out or just go into other things that lead them possibly to juvenile detention and later on in life, you know, prison. And so our role is specifically to intervene, you know, before it gets to that point. You know, students who may commit major offenses, especially fighting another student or doing harm to another student or a staff member. What we do is we get those students together and we have a circle, a restorative harm circle. And we have that student.
Harm.
Yes.
That's deep.
So we're trying to restore and repair whatever relationship if possible. And then also you want the student who did the act on the other student, we want them to own responsibility for what they did. And to kind of give some type of restitution for that. So say for instance you have two students that got into a fight, we circle them up. You know, what was your version of the story? What was your version of the story? Now, how could we have changed this so this would not have occurred? And then after that, kind of going from there, so what are some things that we can do and things we can have in place so that this can't happen again? Or, you know, if they were friends, do you guys still want to be friends? How can we work on, you know, repairing that relationship? Are there some things that maybe you guys need to stop doing to each other, stop name calling, or, you know, whatever the case may be? And then also, before you leave that circle, you know, there is an agreement. You know, the ultimate thing is you want them to agree to, you know, move forward in a positive way. And so they leave, whether it's a fist bump, whether it's a hug, or whether it's just a group hug, we're all in consensus that we're going to have a positive experience, we're going to have a better relationship, and things are going to move forward. And we also can do that with staff as well, staff to staff.
Wow. And that's huge. And that's huge. And actually, in reading the back of this book, I mean, I know that there is a major theme of what happens to the main character. And so kind of hearing what you do on a daily basis and seeing what you deal with, I really just want to ask you, and let me just find the question so I can make sure I am on key. how does your professional background and the things that you've seen and the things that you currently, help restore into the lives of youth, how did that bring you to the point of writing this book, Love Chances?
Well, the biggest thing about that is I wrote the book my junior year in high school.
Wow.
So, yes, I was in high school, and there were some personal experiences. I kind of exaggerated it a lot, but personal experience, and then also just observing other people that I went to school with, just showing how you can have everything going for yourself, and you can get hooked up with the wrong somebody,
or maybe not the wrong one. Now hold on, I'm gonna stop you right there.
Maybe the right one.
Now I'm about to read the back, just so y'all know where we starting off at, just in case you don't have a copy of this. So, on the outside looking at women, let me start from the top. Why can't she be a daddy's girl or mother's brat? Someday she will get over it, hopefully soon. So on the outside looking in, Andrea Robertson has it going on. Contrary to popular belief, the National Merit Scholar and future Spelman College student is also an orphan who battles her inner struggles of loneliness until she meets Chance Williams, the young man who pulls into the parking lot on her last day of high school and gets her number. Will Andrea be able to fill the void if she takes this chance on a stranger, or will she lose even more in a gamble of love? Now that intrigues me, because now all of a sudden you like, girl, don't mess your Spelman up. Go to college, leave Chance alone. So and don't take that chance. So I mean, I'm gonna tell you to get the book. I'm gonna get the book because I don't have a copy yet. But I mean, so the book. So as you start writing it, I mean, was it based on, or Andrea Robertson? Was it based on a real life person? I know you said you took some pieces here or there, but the fact that she's an orphan, I think, mainly intrigues me. Do you know anyone who was an orphan or battled those struggles that she did?
I do. Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
wow.
There was someone in high school that I was close to that was an orphan. But I mainly wanted to bring that piece out, just, saying how easy it is for someone to, be vulnerable and be open to the wrong thing, because they're searching for it. They're looking for love. They're looking for belonging and different things of that nature.
Definitely. And I mean, that rings true too with older adults. I know some that are grieving, going through things, and you tend to look for that next fun thing or someone to fill that void. So it can happen to adults as well.
Loneliness is a big monster.
It is. The loneliness. So, okay, so let's see. So actually, your passion for the youth, it started in high school. And one of my questions was how did the passion for helping the youth and young adults lead to writing this book? But yes,
I can elaborate more on that.
Yes.
As far as publishing it. So I had wrote it in high school, and I had people in my class read it and passed it around. Everybody's like, "This is good, girl, this is good." I'm like, "Okay, that's great." But my dad, at that time, my dad was an assistant pastor. So, just some of the language, and some of the language in the book is kind of risky. There are some little scenes. So I just, out of respect for my father and his ministry, I didn't want to put anything out because I didn't want to disrespect my father. To me, that's how I was raised.
Right.
So my dad, I had my mom and dad read it, and my dad was like, "Well, you're an author. Authors don't necessarily write about their life. They write from other perspectives." And he said, you can always change it. You can write a sequel afterwards, but it's your work. If you want to publish it, I'm fine with that. So I didn't make the chance to put it out there until two things happened. So one was I actually got the idea for a sequel. So now that I'm older, I said, hey, I can develop the characters more, and kind of do a spinoff. you know, and I just got my writer juices flowing. So I said, okay, I'm gonna publish it now because now I want to work on the sequel. And then two, my dad passed, and so I said, oh, this would be a great tribute to put it out there because he did okay that. So those two reasons, and then there also is a third one, if I could interject.
Okay.
I worked at Center for Adolescent Services, and there were some young boys there at the time, and they disclosed to me that they like reading. And one of the misconceptions about our youth is that they don't like to read, especially our boys. Well, they say if you give us stuff that we like to read, we'll read. So with permission from, the director, I was like, well, I wrote a story. Let's see if they'll like it.
And how long ago was this?
This was 2017.
Okay.
17 going into 18.
Okay.
And so he said, sure. So I brought the book in, let them read, and they were like, this is good, you should publish it. So I will be remiss if I didn't mention those young men. They know who they are.
Definitely.
They definitely pushed me into also saying, well, if some young boys like it, then I should publish it.
Well, yes. Now you keep saying sequel, so I did read that this book is actually the first in a new series.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Okay, so I'm currently working on the second book, and I just decided to develop this into a series, a Love Chance series, because and I don't want to give too much of the first book away, but she'll end up having to make, different chances. And as I develop the characters more, some other people, they're making chances too in the game of love. So I already have an idea for the third one as well. So I want to put that out there.
How many of y'all are making chances right now? You're taking risks, taking chances in the game of love. Now, even though these people may be a little bit young in this book, you probably will pick up some game. I guess if it's a game, you need game in the game of love. But love chances, I am definitely intrigued. So going into, we talked about a little bit about your professional background and your passion for youth. Can you actually give us a little bit more information on your nonprofit, Chosen Generation?
Okay, so and I'm such a low key person, but
if you would like to,
it's fine.
Yes, because I got some other questions here too.
In 2015, I started Chosen Generation, and just basically stemmed from my school counseling internship at Tribal Madison High School.
Okay.
And for my final project that we had to do before graduation, there was a career power lunch program that I had started at the high school.
Yes.
And I basically just kind of tried to solicit people who were interested. From first and foremost, I wanted people from Trotwood, and then if I couldn't get enough people from Trotwood, then I went to Dayton, the Dayton area, and alumni. But I wanted Trotwood alumni and people who lived in Trotwood, because you're going to be more apt to help, especially if you came from the area and the students that you're trying to reach. And so I went into all the English classes, had each kid write down their top 3 careers that they would like to go into, the different fields that interested them. And so then that's how I came up with the list, compiled the list of professions that I wanted to bring into the high school. And so we did this during their lunch period, and people just volunteered. They gave their time, an hour out of their day, to come in and meet with those students that signed up for their profession, and give them just any background knowledge and things that they could. Also, if they wanted to offer mentorship at that time, those are the only people I really wanted to do that. And I really prayed before I reached out to certain people.
You gotta pray.
You have to.
Gotta pray.
You have to. You just can't have everybody over our babies.
Exactly.
But basically, stemming from that, that I was like, I would love to keep doing things like this.
Wow.
And there were different kids that they took some things from the program that I started, and I ended up mentoring about 4 students myself. One of those was a young lady who was in danger of not graduating. I was able to get her to graduate. and she's now in college now. She lives out of state. Just really proud of her. And then all the other students that I've been mentoring, they all have graduated high school. Some of them have jobs, some of them are working, some of them are in school still, but they're doing something. And so, you know, we'll see where it goes from there. You know, I'm still just ground level with that, but you know, just trying to make a difference where I can.
Of course, and I commend you for that, because we got a lot of soldiers out here on the streets. Yeah. Oh, clap, yes, please. We got some people in the audience want to clap for that.
Thank you.
Because that is a calling. I mean, that is a gifting to help the youth. I mean, I think when I went to Central State, I tried to do some tutoring at Meadowdale, and I realized youth is maybe not my calling so much as adults. But I mean, you see the cycles that potentially the children are taking from their parents, or lack of, you know, just a good role model at home, and the parents are struggling too. So on that end is the end that I get to see. And I mean, you're trying to stop that generational cycle pretty much. Yes. So the Career Power Lunch Program, what school year did you start it in?
It was 2015, 2016 school year.
So you're still going ahead with that?
Well, now I actually just work for the district, so I'm just doing things where I can, but I still mentor 4 students. Okay. So I'm still doing that. There's some things that I do have. I have some plans that I would like to see go through to fruition, but right now I'm just kind of still trying to lay groundwork and everything.
Of course, that foundation is very important.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So let's see. I want to make sure I get to all these questions. So I have, let's see. So, well, I saw that you have an event coming up.
Yes,
I did see an event, and where can we find you? I believe it's a book signing that you have coming up.
Yes, so I am going to do a book launch at These Deals, Zante's store. Love her. She is the bomb.
Yes, she is.
.com.
Yes. I'm representing. Since you said her name, I'm representing with this blazer on today. Yes. Thank you, Zante, girl.
Yes. But she so graciously opened up her place. You know, on Saturday she does the entrepreneurs and small business owners showcase. And so this Saturday, as a matter of fact, from 2 to 4, I'll be doing my book signing there. So you can come and get a book if you want. If you've already purchased the book, I've talked to a couple people who've already purchased the book. You can come and I'll definitely sign it. Okay. And then I do have some things that I'm going to raffle off. Some little raffle prizes. One for people who've already bought the book and they're coming in, and then the other for people who are coming in to buy a book. So.
Okay. Well, excellent. Yes. So where else can they buy the book other than your events, catching you at the events?
Well, outside of that, you can go to lulu.com, look up my name. And then also it's on Amazon. If they have Amazon Kindle, they can get it for 99 cents.
Hey, I got Kindle, so I may not get love.
And then if it's Kindle Unlimited, then it's free.
Oh, wow.
Other than that, it'll be $15 on Amazon.com, also Barnes & Noble.
Excellent, excellent. Yes, let's clap for that. So let's see. So what is, I mean, and you've touched on a lot of things, and I mean the youth, and I read a sentence that said a spirit and standard of excellence. What does that mean to you, a spirit and standard of excellence?
Just being the best that you can be, putting forth your best effort, actually being motivated. From the different jobs that I've had, and just in general, when you come across youth and even adults, a lot of people they've lost their motivation, they lost their drive, they lost just that you know, to
purpose for life,
right? And so I just wanted to kind of instill that back into our youth, letting them know who they are. You know, it is Black History Month, but they should really know who they are. Not just this month, but every day of the year, and be empowered in that, so that they can be the best person that they can be. If they serve God, be the best person you can be for God. Be the best person you can be for your family. Like a lot of times I even tell, you know, the kids and tell them now, you know, and I believe this is a what do you want to? It's just a thing that we've lost. I feel as a generation, as a people. You know, back in the day when you left out of the house, you represented your family, you represented your parents, you represented Christ, you represented whoever, you know. But my thing is this, you know, when you're cutting up in school, when you're making poor choices, when you are, you know, refusing to do your work, all that is not just a reflection of you, it reflects back home. So, you know, even just that standard of excellence, you know, knowing who you are and knowing who you come from and wanting to represent that well, I think is something that has been lost and something that we need to instill back into our youth. And also, you know, just impress upon the parents to reiterate that, you know, don't just have us as educators or different people feeding into your children and you don't feed that also back. You know, we have to all work together. If it's not consistent across the board, you know, it's not going to last.
That's true. That's true. You need the reinforcement on both ends. Definitely. Well, I could go and ask her so many more questions tonight, so many more questions, but you will have an opportunity to see her at these deals this weekend. Don't forget, February 8th, 2 to 4.
Yes, ma'am.
2 to 4. Love Chances. I mean, I'm really excited to see how Andrea, what she gonna do with Chance. That's intriguing. But I want to really thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and sharing your gift and the book, and you know, with the Backhouse and the viewers and the guests. I truly believe that God has really just called you up to really just make a difference in the lives of the youth in many different avenues.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Of course. Do you have any parting remarks before we close?
Just to anyone out there who has young children, especially girls, just I can't stress enough to make sure that you make them aware of, you know, just the different games that are being played out there, making them feel loved, making them feel wanted, so that they don't look for love and look for things all in the wrong arms of someone else. Let it come from you first, from home. Let it come from home first. And definitely let your children know who they are.
Yes.
Let them know who they are and just try to pour love into your children. I know sometimes kids, they do different things, they get on your nerves, especially when they're getting older than teenage years. Woo!
Yes.
But, you know, just for every negative remark, always give 5 positives. You know, always try to counteract that so you're not always tearing and beating them down. Life does that enough.
It does.
So.
And those were great words of wisdom, parting remarks. Thank you so much, Carrie, for joining us today. We'd like to thank you all for joining us for our first interview of season 4. We'd like to thank our, woo! Can we give it up? Give it up! Yes, I got people in the back who want to clap, and I just skipped that. But a warm thank you to the owners of the Backhouse, your hospitality venue, Derek and Tara Purnell, who have an excellent venue. And remember, at the Backhouse, you are the main event. So we, as always, are going to go into the after the live wind down, and we thank you because season 4 of 2020 has officially kicked off. Thank you so much. Join us next time. Be blessed. Coach V.
Thank you.
Yes.